Have you ever been intimate with a woman, felt completely connected in that moment, and then watched her pull away the very next day? Colder, more distant, harder to read, and had absolutely no idea what you did wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. That's what makes it so devastating. You replayed the night in your head. You went over every word, every moment, every look she gave you. And you couldn't find that error because from where you were standing, everything felt real. Everything felt mutual. And then, without warning, she was somewhere else, emotionally unreachable. And you were left standing in the wreckage of something you didn't even know was falling apart. I'm going to tell you something today that most men never hear. Something that changes the way you understand women, intimacy, and the silent emotional world that runs underneath every connection you've ever had or ever will have. I'm your host, and this is The Gentle Mind, where we uncover the real psychology that creates desire. And I'll warn you now, the final trigger I'm going to share with you today is incredibly powerful. It can change everything fast, and almost no one uses it correctly. So stay with me. Here's the truth that nobody taught you. After intimacy, a woman doesn't just feel physically exposed. She feels emotionally naked. And the brain, her brain, the ancient part that evolved long before language, begins scanning. Not consciously, not with intention, subconsciously, automatically. Is looking for one thing. Am I safe here? Not safe physically, safe emotionally? Safe to have been this open. Safe to have let someone this close. And what it finds in the hours and days after intimacy will determine everything about how she behaves toward you going forward. This was never your fault. Nobody taught you this. You were handed a story about attraction that was mostly about surface things. Be confident. Look good. Say the right words. And those things matter. A little. But they're the packaging. What actually determines whether a woman stays open to you after intimacy or closes herself off is something far older, far deeper, and far more powerful. It's the emotional architecture of connection. And once you understand it, you stop feeling confused. You stop overanalyzing. You start becoming the kind of man that a woman doesn't want to pull away from. Let me give you the framework first. Evolutionary psychology tells us that women evolved with a very different risk calculus around intimacy than men did. For thousands of years, being physically close to the wrong person carried consequences for a woman that were catastrophic and long-lasting. So the female brain developed what researchers call post-intimacy threat scanning. It's not a flaw. It's a survival mechanism. After closeness, the brain doesn't just relax. It evaluates. It looks for signals of reliability, of groundedness, of genuine interest. And it looks for the absence of signals that suggest she was just a transaction. The problem is most men don't know those signals exist. So they go quiet. They get weird. They pull back without realizing they're pulling back. Or they go the opposite direction. They become suddenly clingy, over-communicating, trying to hold on to something they sense is slipping. Both of those responses trigger the same alarm in a woman's subconscious. This man doesn't know how to hold me. And she begins to emotionally withdraw. But here's what shifts everything. When a man understands the emotional triggers that create safety, attraction, and deepening desire after intimacy, and uses them with intention, the entire dynamic reverses. She doesn't pull away. She leans in. Not because he manipulated her, because he gave her something real. Let's talk about those triggers. The first is masculine presence. Presence isn't about how you look or how tall you are. It's about grounded energy. It's the felt sense that when you're in a room, you're actually in the room. You're not performing. You're not anxious about how you're being perceived. You're just there, fully, without apology. After intimacy, Presence communicates, I'm not rattled by this. I'm not desperate. I'm here with you, and I'm the same man I was before. That stability is deeply attractive to a woman's nervous system. It signals he's not going to crumble. He's not going to make this strange. He's the same. Practice this. The morning after, don't frantically check your phone or manufacture reasons to text her. Stay in your own energy. Be present in your own life. When you do connect, let it come from a grounded place, not a searching one. Presence isn't something you turn on. It's something you stop interrupting. The second trigger is emotional challenge. This one trips people up because it sounds counterintuitive. You'd think that after intimacy, what she wants is total warmth and constant validation. And warmth matters. Yes. But challenge matters more. Emotional challenge is the gentle, playful dynamic where you don't just agree with everything, where you tease her lightly, where you create a little friction that keeps things interesting. It creates polarity. It communicates that you're a man with your own perspective, your own standards, your own world. You're not just a mirror reflecting her back to herself. You're an actual other person. The next time she says something she clearly expects you to just co-sign, try raising an eyebrow instead. Say, I'm not sure I agree with that. And smile, see what happens. A woman cannot feel attracted to a man she can completely predict. The third trigger is selective attention. This one is about scarcity. Not manufactured scarcity, not games, but genuine scarcity that comes from having a full life. When your attention is everywhere, it means nothing. When it's rare and directed, it means everything. After intimacy, one of the most powerful things you can do is let her see that you have a world. You have things that matter to you. You have focus and purpose that exist entirely outside of her. When your attention turns toward her in that context, it lands differently. It feels earned. It feels significant. Because it is. Don't cancel your plans for her. Don't restructure your day around when she might text back. Live your life. Let her notice you living it. Your attention is a gift. Make sure it's being received that way. If this is making sense so far, hit subscribe and join the Gentle Mind community. It helps more men learn what they were never taught. The fourth trigger is intentional listening. This one is quiet but devastating in the best way. Most men hear a woman. Very few actually listen to her. Intentional listening means you remember the small things. The offhand comment she made 2 weeks ago about how she feels overlooked at work. The name of the friend she mentioned once. What she said made her feel seen by her father when she was young. You hold those things. And when the moment is right, you bring them back. Not to impress her. Not as a trick. But because you were actually paying attention. Because she actually mattered enough to you to hold on to something she didn't expect you to hold on to. That feeling of being truly seen is one of the rarest and most powerful things a woman can experience with a man. Try this. The next time she tells you something small, something she doesn't seem to think is a big deal, write it down. Remember it. Come back to it. Most women have never been with a man who really saw them. Be that man. The fifth trigger is calibrated vulnerability. Here's where a lot of men either shut down completely or go too far in the other direction. Calibrated vulnerability means you share real things about yourself. Your actual fears, your honest doubts, your genuine desires, without making her your therapist. Without collapsing into need. There's a version of vulnerability that creates intimacy and a version that creates burden. The difference is calibration. You share something true, you hold it lightly, you don't require her to fix it. You're just letting her in, not letting her carry you. After intimacy, especially when emotional walls are lower than usual, a moment of real, held lightly vulnerability creates a depth of connection that almost nothing else can. Tell her something true, something slightly risky. Then let it land without chasing her reaction. Strength isn't the absence of feeling. It's the ability to feel without losing the ground beneath you. The sixth trigger is gradual physical touch. This is about oxytocin. That's the bonding hormone. And it's not primarily activated by intensity. It's activated by consistency, by light, unhurried physical contact, the hand on the lower back, the brief touch on the arm when she says something funny, the way you stand close without crowding. These micro moments of physical presence compound over time. They tell her nervous system, this man is comfortable being near me. He's not urgent. He's not trying to take something. He's just here. After intimacy, don't go from a high of physical closeness to total physical distance. Maintain gentle, easy contact. Let it feel natural, not loaded. Touch that asks for nothing is the touch she'll remember. The seventh trigger, and the one I warned you about at the beginning, is controlled unpredictability. This is the dopamine trigger. And dopamine, as you may know, is the neurochemical of anticipation, of wanting, of seeking. It's not activated by pleasure. It's activated by the uncertainty of whether pleasure is coming. What this means in practice is that a man who is perfectly consistent, perfectly available, perfectly predictable, even if he's doing everything else right, will eventually stop generating that neurochemical pull. The brain adapts, the seeking stops. Controlled unpredictability doesn't mean being flaky or emotionally unavailable. It means occasionally doing the unexpected thing. Responding to a routine moment with something surprising. Going quiet when she expects you to engage, then engaging in a way she didn't see coming. Planning something she couldn't have predicted. Being just slightly more complex than she has fully figured out. You want her mind to stay lightly oriented toward you in the spaces between contact, not out of anxiety, but out of genuine curiosity. Who is this man? What is he going to do next? That question held comfortably is the feeling of desire. The man she can't fully predict is the man she can't stop thinking about. Now here's what I want you to do with all of this. Don't go away from this video and try to deploy 7 things at once. That's not how any of this works. Real change happens in layers. Pick one trigger, the one that resonated most, the one that made you think quietly, that's exactly what I've been missing. And bring it into your next interaction with genuine intention. Not as a technique, not as a move, as a way of being. Because here's the identity shift I want to leave you with. You are not a man who doesn't understand women. You're a man who was never given the right information. There is a massive difference between those two things. One is a character flaw. The other is just a gap that can be filled, a gap that is being filled right now by understanding what actually drives female emotion and attraction. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be some idealized version of a man that doesn't exist in real life. You need strategy. You need tools that are grounded in real psychology, used with real respect, and applied with genuine intention toward a woman you actually care about. The men who create real, lasting desire in women aren't the ones with the best looks or the most money or the smoothest lines. They're the ones who understand the emotional world underneath the surface. They're the ones who make a woman feel something she didn't expect to feel. And they do it not through manipulation, but through a deep, confident knowledge of how human beings actually connect. That's who you're becoming. Not someday. Right now. Just by understanding this, you've already shifted something. You'll feel it the next time you're in the room with a woman you care about. You'll notice things you didn't notice before. You'll feel less reactive, more intentional, more grounded. Not because you memorized a script, but because you now understand the map. The rest is just practice. If you're ready to stop chasing and start becoming the man women genuinely desire, subscribe to The Gentle Mind now. Turn on notifications because the next one will shift your reality again.